Hey, what's up guys? I've had a few people ask me about doing a water change video and how I take care of my fish room. I've got 48 tanks with fish mostly gotten from Trevor. Uh, Very lucky I got a few from Jeff Kuhn as well, Sarah Connor, and Josh Cunningham. Figured I'd do a quick video on how I do my water changes. Pretty basic to what a lot of people probably do. I found this is the way that it works for me. And maybe it'll help some of you guys figure out how you might want to do it. First order of operation is the siphon hose. As you can see, it's hanging on the tank here, drain down the autopharynx tank. I've got just a U shape here. Got 3/4 inch PVC, two 90s pushed together with a piece in the middle. They're not glued. That way I can turn it to get into the tank and siphon out all the poop stuff out of the tanks, and I can hang it here on the side. Drain it down just below halfway and fill it back up for a nice good size water change. You got to pull a siphon at first, but I've got about 8 foot of hose on here, so I don't have to worry about sucking any in my mouth, because we all know that's a bad deal. So what I do is once I get it going, I'll start siphoning up all the poop in the water, stuff like that, and once I get it to a level that I'm happy with, I'll reach down. I've got a 3/4 inch gas valve. You can get it at your local hardware store. I got mine for about $9. Turn it there. That stops the flow. It's a 3/4 inch gas valve and then two 3/4 inch threaded nipples. Just push together. There's no pressure on this. Is all for suction, so they don't really leak. I have one up here. So I do shut the valve off. The pressure from above pushes water out, and it was leaking a little bit, but these down here have never leaked as far as I know, and I've had it for about 1.5 years now. All right, so now that I've got that shut off, let's move this to the next tank. Let the water drain out so I can get on the floor, and we'll move it over to the Hepatochromis cristinatus tank. Some really pretty fish. These came from Trevor as well. And here we go. Open it up. You might be able to hear the water running down there. And again, I'll just let this drain the tank down. It's hard to vacuum and turn this all with one hand. I can turn the handle, see how that would work. A little more maybe. And I can go through, vacuum up poop. Move stuff around. Stay relatively dry while I do it. There's a good chance when I'm not making a video doing this of watching the fish, seeing how they're doing, how they're behaving. If there's any females holding, need to be stripped. This tank, there's always females holding. These are the very prolific fish for sure. I've got several 20 longs grow out from this group, and they have produced very, very nice fry. It's one of my better sellers. I've had a lot of people interested in these and get them. So maybe people like them. They're cool fish, not seen very often. Again, I'll let this drain for a while till it's about half full, and just let it suck the water out. Again, it's just 2 3/4 PVC corners or elbows pushed together with a piece of 3/4 in between it, not glued. That way you can turn them or just hang it. Like I said, since it's on a vacuum doing suction, it won't leak. You will pull it apart from time to time, so I do make sure and squeeze it together to make sure it's going to hold together well. And again, I just let it drain and move it from tank to tank. When this tank gets drained down enough, I'll move to here, lock the valve, shuts the water off, and I can move up to the next tank. Come up to the Hepatochromis erectinatus tank, and I'll drain it down. And do all the tanks like that. I've got 48 tanks in my fish room, 2 55s, then 8 75s across here, then 55s on top, 20s on bottom. But up to that, I'm just going to kind of show you a quick overall how I do water changes. So once this tank is drained, I'll show you how we fill them up. And that's really a pretty simple way to do it, and I'll explain more here in just a second. All right, so now we've got the tanks drained and we're getting ready to do water changes. Typically what I do, every time I come out here when I do water change, I try to make sure that I leave the toilet full, so when I come the next time I don't have to wait for it to fill up. The water comes in up this line here, goes through a triple stage filter, 2 carbon blocks and a sediment filter. Then it goes up through an instant hot water heater. Then that way I can set the temperature of the water right around 78 degrees. It comes through this black hose and it fills the tote. So now that I want to do the water changes, what do I have to do? Well, it's really simple. I have a remote that turns the pump on and off. You can hear it come on, hear it shut off. And all that is a simple on-off remote that you can buy at Lowe's for about 10 bucks. Has 2 plugs in the bottom, so you can run 2 accessories at the same time. I have some that are actually able to do several different devices. I have several different modes for my lights and stuff, so the lights are on the kind of the same setup. So let's show you how the hose and stuff works. Now we're ready to fill the tanks up, and so what we have here is a hose attached to a sump pump that's down on the bottom of my water tote that is hooked to that remote switch. So all I have to do is drag the hose, and the hose is a RV safe hose. It's a heavy duty RV safe hose, so it means it's safe for human consumption, so there's no oils and stuff like you'd find in a normal garden hose, and it's not like the white hose that's really flimsy and collapses and kinks real bad. This has been a really good hose. I've had it for about a year now. Really happy with it. I'll show you here real quick how this works. It's kind of the same thing as my drain line. Got a hook over, which is all glued together because there's pressure going out, into a gas valve. And it's a 3/4 gas valve with a 3/4 PVC fitting slip and going into the 2 elbows down to the other piece going into the tank. And then also I have a piece that I put on the bottom to point the water upwards so it's not spraying into the sand and dispersing it, and you'll see that in here in just a second. I'll get this hose drug out and we'll get it set up in the tanks. Alright, here we go, getting ready to fill up the tanks. There's just kind of 2 steps to this to make it easy on myself and have a redundancy. That way if something happens, I have 2 ways of shutting it off. I have the gas valve, like I showed you a minute ago, turn it off and on. Then I also have the remote that goes to the pump. So what I'll usually do is turn the pump on. I can hear it kick on. You reach down and turn this open. It's that easy. Start filling the tanks. All I gotta do now is there's another chance to watch the fish, see how they're doing. Take a good chance to look in the tank. Check them out. Sorry for the glare. We had snow outside, so it's really bright out there today. And it's the same thing as the drain line, once I get this tank full, I'll go ahead and shut the pump off. You might hear it shut off, see the water stop running, and then I can close this off. If I don't close that off, just like my drain, since this point is higher than the water tank, it will backflow into the tank. So that's one of the reasons I have the redundant shut-off valve there. And then that also, so when I move from tank to tank, I don't have to worry about it leaking or nothing like that, and I have a really good control of filling the tanks up. So now, let's get back to filling the tank. Turn it on, open the valve, watch the water run. And it's about a 900 gallon an hour pump. And so it does pretty good. It actually drains about as fast as it fills. So if I have somebody helping me, usually it doesn't take, maybe 45 minutes to do these 10 tanks. And these are, like I said, 75 gallon tanks, so that's not too bad to get them done. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much how I do water changes. Nothing real fancy, nothing real crazy. All this stuff I found off different YouTube videos or just trial and error, trying to think of ways to make things easier on myself. I only drained a few tanks just to kind of show you how I do this. I'll finish doing the rest after I tell you goodbye. But if you guys have any questions or comments or just maybe concerns even, let me know. Ask away. Maybe we can have a good conversation about it. All right? Thank you, guys.